Hey guys, curdhos here from Hostyle Conditioning. I'm here with Tobin.on, our Chief Kettlebell Officer. We just had a great afternoon here Sundays. Not too often we're in the Hostyle facility on Sundays, but we came in to shoot a bunch of videos about all the cool stuff that we want to start bringing to you guys with all the kettlebell things that we're doing. And we're just going to shoot the poop about kettlebells.
So yeah, so we had a good time here. So we're going to do some editing. We're going to try to improve our video quality and really help you at home. You know, review the exercises and try to visualize them and practice at home, yeah?
Exactly. The big thing for us, I mean, I've said this before, when I started Hostile Conditioning, I really got bit by the kettlebell bug. I really enjoyed it. I wish I would have found it many, many years ago. What was important for me on the onset, though, is that when I started to look at all the different kettlebell exercises and techniques and philosophies, it quickly became apparent to me quality was really important. And quality of the basics, and that was always sort of my thing that I wanted to see happen and I want to focus on. And then Tobin came along and been doing kettlebells, and he has a huge background in other sports. We'll have him talk a bit about that, get to know him a bit. But what I liked is when he came in and did some stuff with us, is the attention to detail. And to me, that's really the most important thing, is now that kettlebells are everywhere, in my opinion, which is not so humble, I think a lot of them are done poorly. And I think what we're trying to do at Hostile Conditioning, specifically in the facility, is just to make our kettlebell training second to none as far as quality and what we offer to people. I always say, you know, in my level 1, Tobin teaches the level 2 intermediate, is that I want people after 30 days with our kettlebells here to be able to teach the 3 or 4 basic moves, that they know it that well.
Yeah, that's right. And that you're touching on the quality. A lot of people, the kettlebell, they have a reputation of injury. You know, I talk to massage therapists, physiotherapists, curdhos, and they say, oh, kettlebell, those are dangerous. You know, I love it when you guys do kettlebell workshops because I get clientele. And I was like, really? Well, it's funny. I've been teaching kettlebells for years and years and years, and I've never injured a single person.
Yeah.
I've never, ever injured a single person. I've even had people come in with hip problems. They don't even mention to me that it's a hip problem that they've lived with for 20 years because of something that happened, car accident when they were 16. And all of a sudden they said, you know, I noticed lately, I don't have a hip problem anymore as much. You know, my mobility is better, and I don't have that pain. And I'm like, huh, interesting. You know, that wasn't even their goal, but yet it corrected it. So anyway, so kettlebell, if done properly, it is extremely safe, extremely efficient. It works your cardio, it works your strength, it works your mobility, it works your explosiveness. I mean, this is all written everywhere. You do a search on kettlebell, you see what it works on. It's pretty obvious. But at Hostile, we really focus on, you know, do it properly or don't do it at all. You know?
Exactly.
And even you see Curd, you see, big muscle head, he's going to make you pick up the heaviest kettlebell. No, he will not make you pick up the heaviest kettlebell unless you have earned your right to pick it up. If there's a purpose and you have your technique down path, then yes, you will be challenged and encouraged to pick up a heavier kettlebell, but there's a reason.
Absolutely.
There's a reason. It's to build your confidence, it's to challenge your body in a different way and whatnot, right? There's a reason for it.
And what he's saying is correct, is once your technique improves, your weight selection will move up, right?
Yeah.
There's no use moving up to, you know, we have kettlebells up to 40 kilos here, 88 pounds. And do they get used often? No. And
a little bit of dust on them.
There's a little bit of dust on them and stuff like that, for sure. But there are times when we will use it, and we'll use kettlebells from some unconventional stuff like farmer walks and things, so they get used more that way. But when we're talking about swings and cleans and snatches, you know, I'm always on to technique, because once you master the technique and get much better, proficient at it, the weight, you're strong enough to use a 16 and a 20. Most people are. Technically, however, they're not able to do it. And it's the technique that will unleash that power that you have within.
And that being said, sometimes you try to teach somebody and they're conservative, they're trying to grab a doorstop kettlebell. And it's like, well, do you have lighter than 8 kilograms? You know, and it's like, well, you don't really need to, don't worry about it, trust us. And then they start picking it up and they struggle. And then sometimes even guys, it's more common in guys, they'll use upper body strength because we have it, we use it, right? Why not? Right? So they'll grab a 12 kilogram or even a 16 kilogram kettlebell and they'll start doing a swing, but they're pulling up with their shoulder, they're slowing it down on the way down, they're not letting it flow, they're not letting their arm be erode. And all of a sudden, the best way to teach them properly is to give them a heavier kettlebell. Sometimes a kettlebell will help teach technique, but under proper supervision, proper guidance, right? There's a time for everything.
For sure, like you're saying, is that sometimes when the weight's too light and you can cheat with the wrong muscles, you get away with it. We'll see that. When we see that they're almost there, and that we feel that's what's missing, is the seriousness of the weight. We'll step them up to 1 kettlebell higher, so that guy goes from a 12 to a 16. Oh, all of a sudden things got better. Why? Because it's heavier, and he can't just use the small muscles he was using. He has to start using his core and his hips and his glutes, well, all of a sudden he's firing a better swing because the body is taking it serious. And that's something that we'll see, and we kind of recognize that early on when that's happening with an individual. I've had a lot of ladies come in here that are doing kettlebells in other places, and they're like, oh, my instructor said to come and get a 4-kilo kettlebell. And I'm doing the same thing. I go, why? You want to hold some papers down on a windy day on your desk? They're like, well, I can't get the swing right. So I'll take them aside, or Tobin will take them aside, and we'll say, show us your swing. And within 30 seconds, we've got them using an 8 and a 12 and a 16 in a lot of cases. And it wasn't that the weight was the issue, it was their technique, and once the right weight was selected, the two came together. So that's really our mandate here, is to bring kettlebells to you, but in a proper form so that you learn. And once you have the basics, your progression to the more complicated exercises is much better overall. Again, reducing injury, but also because of proficiency, you're able to get more of a workout from it as well. And to me, that's something that's really important. I'm not trying to impress you with 37 different moves, because if you try to learn 37 different moves in 4 weeks, you're not going to learn any of them. So we work on the basics, and we work on you acquiring the skills to get a good workout overall. But that being said, what I want to talk about is with Tobin today too, is what got you into kettlebells?
Oh, I was an adventure racer way back when, and mountain biker for starters, but adventure racer. And for some reason, after 3-4 days of adventure racing 24 hours a day nonstop, I got tired.
I don't understand that either.
So I remember distinctly one day I picked up a canoe, and I was trying to do a portage of a canoe, and in practice I was even teaching adventure race clinics, and I was able to just demonstrate over and over again. But 3-4 days into it, pick up this heavy canoe, throw it over my shoulder, I almost took my own head off, and I was stuck between the gunwale, and I was having a bad moment. And it really humbled me and made me think, like, oh, wait a second here, why am I not strong? So I said, I need to start doing weights again. I was shrinking, I was doing too much endurance stuff, losing a lot of muscle mass. I was like, all right. And then I met a friend that he was a paddler, and he's like, well, it's your hips. You need more hips. It's not strength. It's not muscles you need. You don't need to go do 52 reps of arm curls. You need real strength, core strength, functional strength, right? So he introduced me to kettlebell, and that absolutely changed everything, because I learned how to draw from the hips better, right? Next thing you know, I was popping the canoe over my head and not even using my shoulders at all. I was popping it from the hips. And so that's really what got me into, for personal reasons, and being a spinning instructor and everything else instructor. I think I'm a natural instructor. I always like to teach. And so I just started teaching kettlebells, and
it goes from there. I mean, it's obvious when Tobin teaches his classes that he's into it, right? And that's a big thing that makes a big difference in the quality of the class that we put forward as well, is that, when you have Tobin or myself front, we love the kettlebells, we're passionate about it, so you'll get that when you train with us and stuff, and that makes a big difference. I got into kettlebells for, as a power lifter. I'm strong. I bench 500-600 pounds. What happened though is that's all I did. I got almost 400 pounds. I got fat. I got out of shape. I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs without being exhausted. I could pick up the stairs, but I couldn't walk up and down the stairs really well. And I got tired of it. And I got tired of just feeling like crap and the inefficiency of where my body was, and especially in the industry I'm in. I'm in the industry of the fitness and health and fitness business for 20 years, so I was definitely not walking the walk. And all those things sort of came together. And I got into some body weight exercises. And then one day a guy said the same thing. Hey, you should try this kettlebell thing. And I took a look on the interweb, and there's a kettlebell thing. So I'm like, all right, I'll buy a kettlebell. And I did everything wrong for about 20 minutes, and I fell in love with it. And I teasingly call it, especially for guys. I mean, everyone does it, and we recommend it for everyone. But when guys get into it, I tell them it's man cardio. It's just you against this piece of metal, and you're just fighting against it, and fighting against yourself. And like you talked about, just the strength and the endurance, and all those other cool things. What really, I think, improves the most for everyone is the mental warfare, the mental toughness. You're able to push your body well beyond that you could anywhere. And after 20 years of being in the fitness industry and looking at getting back in shape, I'll be honest, the thought of me doing another arm curl, I felt like putting a bullet to my head. I mean, come on, I've done it for 20 years. I'm bored snotless out of it. I want something different. And that's sort of how kettlebells just fell into it. And in my background in training and stuff, I said, you know what, but it's always, how does it work? What's the technique? What do we need to do for it to get the most out of it? And, again, 25 minutes of a kettlebell will do more than 4 hours that week in the gym, I guarantee it. But again, that's kind of where my passion comes from, is to teach it and deliver it in a very efficient, smart, technical manner so that you get the most out of it. And our clients that come in, they get turned on by it. And if you talk to our people that come in for a 7 o'clock class, and as they progress to the 8, by the time they hit the intermediate level with Tobin, They're hooked. They're hooked on kettlebells. They want more. They're ready for more, and we're able to do a lot of cool stuff. I take his class. I'm dying in a corner and stuff, and I'm dying less and less every week, but it's still a challenge, and it's that challenge that makes me rise to the occasion. And then even in my own, when I'm teaching my 7 o'clock classes, my fitness level is so much better. I'm doing what we call the Tobin style, where I'm doing the exercise with them as I'm teaching them, and I'm talking through it. I couldn't have done that 2 months ago, right? So it's huge to see. It's phenomenal, and again, it helps transfer the technique and the just the excitement for the kettlebells on.
And one of the most common things I get is, well, first of all you ladies out there say, I don't want to bulk up too much. Don't worry about it. You're not going to bulk up with kettlebell. You're going to build some nice muscles. Your summer dress is going to look awesome. Don't worry about it. You're not going to bulk up. Trust me. We never really bring you to muscle exhaustion, muscle fatigue, muscle breakdown. So you will gain muscle for sure, but it's long, lean muscle.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful muscle. So for those guys that want to gain muscles, though, you can complement it with some gym activity, absolutely. And you do build good muscles, and you do. It's just really good for you overall. But one thing is people say, well, I hate the gym. I can't stand going to do weights. Well, that's the beauty of kettlebells. There's so much mobility and so much finesse in it.
Yes.
There's finesse. There's movement. It's like a dance. You need to learn to dance. You need to learn how to the flow of it all, right? So your brain's constantly engaged. You're challenged to remember how to move and all the little nuances. And it becomes a lot of fun. And then you start entering juggling world and all that, right? So letting go of the kettlebell, flipping it. So even if you think you're getting bored, trust me, I got more for you. You'll never get bored.
And flipping is a key word, not dropping.
Yeah.
Right? Flipping. It's a purposeful, release to catch and stuff.
I'll make Curd right down the wall 20 times. Do not drop.
Exactly. There's a few spots on the floor for sure. As a powerlifter at 43 years old, I'm down 75 pounds at least now, body weight wise. I'm more functional than ever, and I'm stronger than ever. I'm pressing more at 43 than I did at 33, and I'm telling you, it's the biggest reason for it is my mobility and functionality because of the kettlebells. It's been unreal. As a lot of you know that I've got my road to 275 as my goal. I'm about 42 pounds away from it, and kettlebells is one of the biggest reasons I'm able to achieve that, because I'm not only losing weight, but I'm maximizing the quality and efficiency of my body. I'm becoming a better athlete in my 40s than I ever was in my 20s and 30s. And if I can do it, anybody can.
A lot of other people can do it.
Awesome, man. Listen, curdhos from Hostile Conditioning saying, crush it! That was good, buddy.